Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and it reads like this. How are you, Brother Nashim? Please hide my identity. I am a man. You can call me Gift. My mother is Shona and my dad was South African. So Shona is my mother tongue, even though I grew up here in South Africa. I am aged 42 years old and I am staying in Nelspruit where I grew up. When I think about my life, I used to drive the latest bakkies, the most expensive ones. But right now, I am just broke. Life, it is like a wheel. One day you are on top, the next day you are at the bottom. I no longer have the trucks that I used to have. I no longer have drivers calling me boss. I don't have any contracts, no invoices, nothing. Every single time when I think about this, I am really hurt. So there is something else that is happening in my life that is very scary. To live with me, it is so scary. I do have some women that I do date, but these women, when we are together, then they start to hear someone that will be knocking at the door. This person can knock at the door, or the person can be knocking at the window. Usually, this is what happens because of the topologies that I went to take them in Mozambique, and I did not complete the whole thing that I was supposed to complete because of other several reasons. That is why I am here suffering, because I failed to do all the things that I was supposed to do. So at night, there is someone that comes to knock on my door, which is a topology that will be reminding me of the covenant. When you go to do these money rituals, it's like you are signing a contract with the traditional healer, and you are becoming part of the traditional healer's family, meaning that the ancestors, they can demand blood from you, from your relatives. So I have a lot of problems in my family, and those that do not really know the things that happen spiritually, they just say that I was disturbed by the woman. I got married to a white woman. Yes, when I really had money, I then got married to an Afrikaner woman who then divorced me. And after that divorce, things started to go downhill. White women, they do not wait. When they see that this man, he does not have a future financially, they don't want to be stuck with a guy that they are assisting to pay bills, they will divorce you. So when I was divorced, people think that that was when my problems began. They say that if he had never married a white woman, he was still going to be on top. But I had already felt to do the money rituals and all the steps that I was supposed to follow, I had failed to do so. So they just think that after the divorce, the banks, they took my trucks. No, the banks, even though they took the trucks, but there is something else, Brother Nashi, that was happening in the spiritual world. So at that time, when I was doing very well in transport business, I had more than 18 trucks that I had. But the mistake that I did, Brother Nash, is that from day one, I never bought anything for cash. All these trucks that I had is like the majority of you are driving these expensive cars, but maybe let's say you have an accident, you can't work anymore. The bank is going to come and collect that car that you have been driving. So it's like the car does not really belong to you. So I had all of this trucks that I had, but these trucks, they were not really mine because we had just gotten them from the bank and they all depended on me to become successful. If I was not going to be successful, it was going to be problems. We were hauling chrome, coal, and other mining cargo between Mpumalanga, Limpopo, going to Mozambique. Money was flowing in. You can't blame me. I said, with this money that I have, I can't be married to a black woman. I wanted a white woman. And there was already one white woman. She was a white lady who had a beautiful daughter. and they were not like rich. Even when I started to date her daughter, she was also happy that I was dating her daughter. So that is what I had decided at that time. I then approached her daughter, and since she knew that I was not dating anyone, it was something that was hard for her to accept a black man. But as time went on, she got used to it, and she then decided that she just wanted to get married to me because the money was already there. And we never had kids, by the way. White women, they will lock up their wombs. They will never give you children if they don't know what your future is like. What? So I had one major problem. I wanted to grow, and when you want to grow too fast, you can end up in problems. So I no longer wanted to do small contracts. I wanted major mining contracts. I wanted to see my company competing with other big companies. One day at a certain truck stop, I was at Komatiput. There was one of my truck that was stuck there, and then I went there. I ended up meeting a guy that was selling herbs. He was a man that was from Mozambique. I am a man that always wanted to become like King Kong when it comes to sleeping with a woman. So there was this other lady that I was supposed to pick up, and I was going to sleep with him at a hotel. And this lady, she had been eating my money a lot. And I said, I want to finish this woman. I want her to feel me. So I spoke with that man and I said, okay, it's fine. You are saying that you have these charms. Do you think that these charms can work? And he said, let me give you these charms. I'm going to give you something for free so that you can see how much power you're going to be having in the bedroom. So that is how I took those herbs, and then I went and I collected that lady, and me and that lady, we ended up sleeping, and she was amazed by the way that I was performing. So I just did not stop talking to that Mozambican guy. We started to communicate, and I started to ask him for more things. Like I wanted charms to become much more wealthier. And he said that he knew of this other Sangoma, the one that was also helping him, because he would go to stock these charms from that Sangoma in Mozambique as well. So I traveled the border, and then we arrived at this other village where we met up with the Sangoma inside of that village. But at that Sangoma's house, there was a lot of people that were also staying there. So then this Sangoma asked me how many trucks exactly that I wanted. I told him the number of trucks that I wanted to own at the end of the day. He said to me that I'm going to give you oil, but this is going to be Sandawana oil, and you will be able to secure a major contract. None of my truck will ever stop. When other truckers are not working, your trucks will be seen on the road. When there is a protest, those that are protesting, they are going to escort your truck so that your truck can pass where no one is allowed to pass. You are going to be feared. When you are dealing with white people, they are going to bow down before you. And when you enter into a contract, you will always enter into a contract where everything is favoring you. The person that you would have signed a contract with, they will make sure that they give you the best contract. No one would even want to rob you because of these things that I want to give you. So I was going to be given Sandawana oil. I had heard about Sandawana oil before, but I did not know how exactly this Sandawana oil it works. I was then told to go to the market, and when I went to the market, I was supposed to look for a woman that I did not like a woman that you see that this one, I can't sleep with this one. I was told to look for such a woman and then to give her money to sleep with her and to make love to her like real love, like I love her with all of my heart. I went to the market and I started to walk around. I then saw this other woman. Yo, she was filthy, she was dirty, she was just selling some vegetables. I went to him and then I started to talk to her. She was surprised when I proposed love to him, and I said that I just wanted to sleep with him even on that day. I then took out some money and then I showed it to him, and she said it's fine. Even when she was standing up, I was shaking my head saying, man, what are you going to do with this woman? So with that woman, we just went into the bushes and we made love, and I gave her the money and I returned back to the traditional healer's house. He then gave me some fat that I was supposed to use. This was like oil fat that had been taken from a sandawana, and then they put it inside a bottle. I was supposed to use it, and my wife, she was not supposed to touch that bottle. I never knew that my wife, she was going to snoop around, and when she did so, she just touched that bottle as if the devil just inspired him to go straight to where this bottle was, because she was not supposed to know where this bottle was. But all of a sudden, Brother Nashi, she messed up things for me, and there were sacrifices that were supposed to be done. I was supposed to sacrifice my mother in order for this contract to continue. And by 2024, things began to go so wrong in my business. We had a major mining contract and we were suspended. Another client, it was not our problem, went into liquidation, and we could not continue with the business. It started to bleed. The banks, they came, they took what belonged to them. You know, trucks, they are very expensive to maintain. You are paying the bank, because even my trailers, I had gotten those trailers through finance, so I had not managed to pay off these trucks. So I started to sell some of my personal belongings so that a truck can just be on the road, Brother Nashi. And then the bank started to repossess, and my wife by then had filed for a divorce. The little assets that I owned, we had to divide. She was so cruel, and we did not even have kids. She was supposed to leave me and walk away with nothing, but she at least benefited. She has a contract right now with a big mine. She's the one that is like a vendor for that mine. She is looking and sourcing for trucks. She is just enjoying her life, that woman. So as time went on, I forgot about all the things that I went to do in Mozambique, because nothing had really worked for me. I thought that I was going to have a lot of trucks, I was going to become a millionaire, and I even saw myself living maybe in Europe, just managing my stuff here in South Africa through the phone. So the situation right now is that because I failed to sacrifice my mother, that Sangoma even sent some birds that would come and speak with me. It is time for you to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice your mother. But because I did not want to sacrifice my mother, I ignored all the warnings that had been given to me, and I said, no ways, there is no way that I am going to sacrifice my mother. Then the Sangoma sent me a final warning. I saw a baboon that came straight from Mozambique, and this baboon came and told me that I'm supposed to come to Mozambique. I finally went to Mozambique, and the traditional healer then said that he still wanted to give me money through the sandawana, but this sandawana, for it to work, it needed blood. I was supposed to sacrifice anyone from the family, even if it was my mother, and I refused. And when I refused, then the Sangoma took out a book and he said, have you forgotten that you signed this? Yes, the first time around when I went to Mozambique, there is a book that I totally signed. That one I agreed, but I never knew that one day he was going to tell me that the contract that I signed, it meant that I was supposed to give the Sandawana blood. I never agreed to that. I just signed because I wanted a lot of money. I then gave up and I returned back to South Africa. The first night when I had a knock, it was on the window. I thought that maybe it is someone one of my friend that is knocking on the window. And when I opened, Brother Nashi, I saw a human face but did not have a body. I just fainted. And then I woke up. When I woke up, it was around 7 a.m. I was freezing, which meant that I had slept on the cold floor throughout the night. And when I woke up, there was another as well. There was another baboon that came. This baboon that came, it then told me that I need to sacrifice. If I don't sacrifice, things are going to go very bad for me. So this is where I am right now. I am asking for anyone that can perform a cleansing ceremony for me, because some prophets that I have approached, mainly that are from Zim, they have told me that the only way that I can be able to live a normal life, if I do not want to lose my mind, is if I can be able to get someone to cleanse me. Since I don't have money, it is difficult. These people, they will never do a cleansing ceremony for you, because they say that dealing with a sandawana, it is very dangerous. There is no one that wants to assist me for free. Hence, I have come here. I know that you might have people that are coming from Zim that can assist me. I am based in Nelspruit. The kind of a job that I'm doing right now, there is a friend of mine who has since borrowed me his car. I am using his car right now to carry people as transport, school transport, as well as workers transport. I go with people to work. I fetch them throughout the day. I am just trying, but I see that my life is stuck. I am even embarrassed, I am someone that was well known. I had a lot of trucks. When I see people that I used to laugh at, that used to do business with me, I can even run away from them because I feel embarrassed, like I am a total failure. There are people that laugh at me and they say that, oh, this guy, he thought that now he has money, he married a white woman, and that woman finished all of his money. So they do not know that I was also using the good luck of a sandawana. Unfortunately, me and that sandawana, we are no longer in good books, and there is nothing that I can do. This sandawana, it wanted the life of my mother, and I refused to give it the blood that belongs to my mother. Hence, this traditional healer has punished me. Please assist me. If you know anyone that is willing to help me, like for now, this person can assist me, and then when I get money, I pay them back. I promise I am someone that is always honest. When he says he will do something, I will do it. Please, I am begging you. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our DM brother. That was the translation. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Have you ever used a sandawana in your life? Have you ever seen a sandawana in your life? If so, you can come to our inbox and then you can share with us your own side of the story. Did you use the sandawana to make money? Were you able to make money when you were using this sandawana, or no, you did not make money? You can reach out to us at Brother Nashi. Let us meet again in the following episode.